My educational background is something that remains enormously important to me, and what I remember so vividly are the teachers. From my first grade teacher, Mrs. Warren, through my high school teacher, Mrs. Pridemore, who taught debate and speech and wore funny bowler hats and was always delightful in class and loved students and loved teaching. It has affected me in ways that have helped to reinforce, alter, change, and provide the values that I have today and the outlook that I have on life. As I look back at my own career journey, I suppose it began in high school as I began to think about heading to a university and also what I might like to do. And at that point I said to myself, gee, I needed to be a psychologist. I studied psychology as my major and really very much enjoyed it. And then I went on to get a master's degree, not in psychology, but I continued to work at the Child Guidance Clinic and Goodwill Industries as a counselor. And one day, my supervisor at Goodwill said to me, you know, Larry, I think you need to change directions. What I really knew best and what I enjoyed was not psychology after all, but management and organizations. So I began to study business at that point and then went on to get a PhD in business. And that has been my career in education. Assuring quality at our universities is a passion for me. I've been focused on it ever since Governor Ducey appointed me as a regent. What I really want to see us do is focus directly on what that general education can do for a student and what the major can do for a student. A general education, those liberal arts and science courses early in a student's experience, offer an opportunity to become a better citizen, improve critical thinking, give the student a new way to look at the world through the variety of courses that that student might take. But a major delivers something additional, and I think we have to focus on that as well. What are the competencies that one ought to acquire as a consequence of a major? What are the concepts that you should learn to be a better citizen, to be a better business person, a better leader in government, or wherever you wish to be after you graduate? Higher education faces a lot of challenges today because it's so essential to democracy. We want it to do so much for us. We want it to do what Thomas Jefferson saw in building good citizens and building the kind of democracy that we know we are as a great country. But we also want it, as an individual, to give us the capacity to earn a good income, contribute to society, lead an organization, make a difference in our community. So if we look at the decline in funding that our universities have, if we look at the expectations, considerable, that we place on a university today, it demands that as a board, we really ask ourselves, how can we take three very good universities and make them even better? One of the reasons I took on a university presidency was because of what I believed about higher education. It had two things that it could do really, really well. One of them was to build skills for the students who studied at that university, making them contributors to our economy, more valuable in terms of the labor force that we need for a technologically driven economy. But as well, what a university can do is to create new research, new technology, and the new technology will enlarge more technology in the future. If you were to look at my bookshelves in my home, and I've had to get rid of a lot of books over the years because I keep acquiring books, because books matter to me, both the digital ones on my iPad as well as the physical ones that sit on those shelves. And if you were to look at those books on those shelves, what you would see is far more philosophy than you might expect of a former business professor, far more books about religion and faith and history than you might expect.